Meta just announced $75 billion is going to artificial intelligence infrastructure this year. So much money. So much money. Every major tech company in the world, though, is investing heavily into artificial intelligence. NVIDIA, Meta, X, obviously, OpenAI. There's a lot of weird things going on with OpenAI right now, you guys. If you guys have been following up with some of those lawsuits, essentially what they're trying to do is switch from an open source into a for-profit model, which is illegal, and they're trying to find loopholes in order to make it happen. And I think Sam Altman, Mr. Stone Cold Eyes, he needs media training. That guy he's out for blood with Elon Musk, and I think he's going to be taking that company down some dark paths. We'll end up seeing. Today, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. Number one, what does this mean? What does Meta AI investing in $75 billion in infrastructure mean? I also want to talk to you about what I prompted into Grok about artificial intelligence and its future and what it came up with. It was kind of freaky and a little bit exciting, but also kind of freaky. It'll give you some ideas of where to invest your brain power in the moment. I have never, as an entrepreneur, I've been in business. I've been in this business. I've owned my company right now for the last 6 years, and for 6 years we've done pretty well for ourselves. I'm in a business though that is education focused. It's strategic, and essentially what I can see happening is artificial intelligence studies what I'm doing, and then it's able to replicate my results because it's all just information. It's information, and then it's pattern recognition and evolution. And you can train a computer to do what I do, and that's why I've talked about training my custom ChatGPT. It's been very successful for us. And I want you to think about it like this: like everybody, I think, knows at this point that your phone is listening to you, because when you say dog food, dog food, dog food, I need to buy dog food, I'll start to get ads for Purina, and I just said Purina, so now I'll probably really get ads for Purina. I'll start to see what I'm talking about. So our devices, we already know, are listening to us, and there have been a number of like NSA whistleblowers that have said as much as well, even though the powers that be and a lot of people want to keep their heads buried in the sand and just believe that that's not what's happening. There's truth to it. So when I'm saying, like, I'm using ChatGPT every single day, our company is using ChatGPT every single day, we're training it, we're prompting it to give us what we want. It is learning. It's recognizing patterns and then computing those patterns. And the faster that computing power becomes, the faster it'll learn who we are and every aspect about us. I mean, you don't think that Facebook already, with Facebook AI, has been able to recognize the patterns in your life? And for anybody who's on Facebook as an avid user, I post a few times a week, and I've been doing this since 2008 or whenever I first got on Facebook. So I am an avid user. I'm also on Messenger. I'm also on WhatsApp. I'm also on Instagram. Meta, in my opinion, has the potential to be the dominant force in artificial intelligence. OpenAI struggles because it has to go and scrape the internet for information. It has to go and it's supposed to get information. There's a whole lot of lawsuits that OpenAI is facing right now because it's scraping data without information or without permission. But Facebook, we sign it all over with TOS. When I use these glasses, I just throw them on, you guys. When I use these glasses, I'm gonna give you a little demo. Oh man, it's fired up. Hey Meta, what's the weather like today?
In Rowlett, Texas, it's currently cloudy and 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Today's high will be 83 degrees Fahrenheit, and the low will be 67 degrees Fahrenheit.
Thank you. Anyway, when I use these glasses and I ask questions and I have conversations, and now it will just go into conversation mode, where it used to be like every time you would have a break, you'd have to say, hey Meta. Now it just goes into conversation mode, so you can just be talking to it all day long. We are feeding it data every time we have a conversation with Meta, every time we have a conversation on Instagram, every time we have a conversation on WhatsApp. That is so much data. OpenAI doesn't have that. X doesn't even have that. And I think that's why Elon is pushing so hard to make X be able to manage funds and do calls and go live streaming, because it's all data that's being collected and fed into the AI for training. The company that has the best trained artificial intelligence is going to be the winner. And this is extremely important for you guys to understand, because it's going to lead into where I feel like there are going to be opportunities. But you have to be paying attention to what's happening. And if you're burying your head in the sand, then you're going to end up in a heap of trouble. I mean, you're going to end up being left behind. I'm going to read to you what I prompted to Grok, and what I think, some of the things that it responded. And it's mind blowing. Okay, let me pull this up. I'm actually not going to share my screen because it's no, I will. I'll share my screen. Let's do this. I want you guys to be able. I don't want to hide nothing from you. Let's do this. Okay. So here's my prompt. Take me down a likely path of AI. What will the tech be able to do in 10 years, 25 years? Can humans be replaced? What is the ROI if humans are replaced? Human energy is what is traded for currency. What will currency be when humans are obsolete? So, I mean, obviously, like I make some of my own assessments here, right? I am predicting that humans will be obsolete at some point, which if Elon Musk builds his humanoid robots and all these other robot companies come out and they're fueled with artificial intelligence and they can lift objects and run and go to the grocery store and do your shopping and drive your cars are autonomous. Like, what do we need to do? And if all of the information marketing or all of the information that we have is can be computed and can be delivered without us, what is the point of us? And it takes us down a really fascinating path, and I'm excited actually to share this with you, because I think that it's pretty cool. And then I'm going to show you a piece of tech that was a fail, but I also think that it was kind of in the right direction. I'm going to show you that at the end. All right, so here's what Grok said. AI capabilities in 10 years, 2035. In 10 years, AI is likely to achieve significant advancements driven by improvements in computational power, algorithmic efficiency, and data availability. Key capabilities include, and again, what it's saying here, what I really like about this is computational power. So this is where Google Willow chip comes in, and this is why Google is currently like at the top of my list as well, because they have created this computational chip that it currently is more powerful. It doesn't have a lot of constraints. It's more powerful than anything that has ever been created in the history of at least modern mankind. And it's absolutely fascinating. So the other thing here that I wanted to, the other reason why I asked about the ROI is because we have to remove ourselves from this, like the current constraints of what we consider return on investment. And remember that return on investment is a human concept. And the concept is, I am going to give some sort of effort, and in return for my effort, I am going to be paid for that. And all business models up until this point have existed off of the effort of human. How can I get a massive amount of people to create steel? How can I get a massive amount of people to barrel oil? How can I get people to teach in the education system? If we don't have that anymore, the economy collapses because humans aren't as involved. So that's why it's going to take us down kind of a weird, dark path. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel that I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is actually something that's like very revolutionary. So let's just get into it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, generalized intelligence. AI systems will approach or achieve artificial general intelligence capable of performing most intellectual tasks, as well as or better than humans across diverse domains, e.g. medicine, engineering, creative arts. These systems will reason, learn from minimal data, and adapt new tasks without extensive retraining. So basically, the machines will be working for us, and the way that we react to the machines will educate them, and they will get better and better and better. Multimodal integration. AI will seamlessly integrate vision, language, language, audio, and sensory data, enabling applications like fully autonomous robots, advanced virtual assistants, and immersive augmented reality AR environments. Okay, so basically, robots will be in every home, and we will be able to throw on a headset gear, and be immersed in this advanced reality, this augmented reality whenever we want to. Now that takes us down a weird path. That's what simulation theory, which I don't want to go into in this video because it's wild. But we'll basically be able to create simulations that are seamless, that we can just jump into, go on vacation. There's actually been studies that have shown that people who play video games and immerse themselves in video games have trigger the same brain response as people who are going on vacations. So people who play a lot of video games and completely immerse themselves are actually more relaxed than people who do not, and wait and save up all their time, effort, and money to go on vacations to random places and stress themselves out. Kind of weird, but interesting. And I play Call of Duty Mobile. I think I've talked about that in some of my videos before. And when I get fully immersed, I'm like, man, I know every area of this map. Ooh, let's go explore over here. This is really cool. It's fascinating. I think a lot more of that will take place. And I think this is why Zuck has also invested so heavily in augmented reality. All right, personalized automation. AI will power hyper-personalized services such as tailored education, healthcare diagnostics, and entertainment using real-time data from wearables and LOT devices. Yep, that's already coming. It's crazy. I mean, just think about the Oculus and all that stuff, and then just completely immerse yourself. Also, Elon Musk's brain chip. You guys, that is scratching the surface, and it is weird. It is weird, but also very cool. But that's going to take us to 2050, and just wait until we get to 2050. All right. Autonomous systems, self-driving vehicles, drones, and robotic systems will dominate logistics, agriculture, and manufacturing with near perfect safety and efficiency. Scientific acceleration. AI will revolutionize research by autonomously designing experiments, discovering new materials, and solving complex problems in physics, biology, and climate science. This is actually massive, because we're on this scale, and I've talked about it before, but like over the last 400 years since we had a few hundred years since we had the Industrial Revolution, we've been on this like accelerated path of technology, and now we're at this like point where we will make exponential leaps in technology all the way up until what people call the what's it called? A singularity, where humans and technology are combined. Whew. Souls and technology are combined. Sketch. Very sketch. But one of the limitations that we've had in science, a couple of limitations. Number one, it's heavily compartmentalized. So some scientists who are studying something over here and some scientists who are studying similar things over here, they're not sharing information. And if there was a way for them to share information, and collaborate, we could make progress significantly faster. But there's a few reasons why we're not. Number one, just simply because we haven't quite figured out how to seamlessly integrate things, and we don't always know what people are studying, especially in different parts of the world. And number two, it's advantageous to keep things compartmentalized so that way no one gains too much power or has too much authority or has too much knowledge. And so what ends up happening is scientists, whenever they're like, scientists have said this, well, scientists have their little area of focus, which is, again, heavily compartmentalized and oftentimes missing a ton of context. And I have a friend who is I have a friend, PhD in biology. I have friends who have worked at NASA, very successful people, and they all say the same thing. It's like, it's compartmentalized. You don't get all of the information because industry is oftentimes funding the research, and industry doesn't want people to have all of the data. They don't want people to have all of the information, especially in things like physics or things like aerospace, or even artificial intelligence. That's a little bit different for a reason. I'll talk about that here in a few minutes. But in these other sectors where if you have too much information, you can create things that will be competitive, then you end up, it doesn't keep the information secure. Kind of stammering all over the place here with this one, guys. Sorry. So, limitations after 10 years. AGI may still struggle with nuanced emotional intelligence, ethical decision making, and tasks requiring deep cultural or contextual understanding. Energy consumption and ethical concerns, bias, privacy will remain challenges as well. All right, let's get into 2025 or 2050. By 2050, AI could surpass human intelligence in nearly all domains, potentially reaching artificial superintelligence. Key capabilities include superintelligent systems. AI will solve problems beyond human comprehension, such as curing aging, reversing climate change, or designing interstellar travel. It will optimize systems at planetary or even cosmic scales. Fully, and again, like this is Grok speaking, but this is a large language model. It's pulling information from what people are talking about. Full automation. Entire industries, e.g. healthcare, education, governance, will be managed by AI with humans in supervisory or creative roles only where desired. So this is kind of freaky. And the reason that I actually kind of agree with this is because we're in an artificial intelligence race right now. Multiple companies, multiple different countries are in an artificial intelligence race. And China is developing, and we're developing. I mean, it's really between us, probably Japan and China. We're all developing this tech, and the first to make it big will rule the government. Now, rule the world. Here's where things get like a little bit wild. It's like we're also kind of at a race to our own. There will be a point where industry, because everything is run by one system, at least in my mind, the way that it works is when everything is run by one system, there will be a point when industry competition ceases to exist. And I'm going to talk about that here in just a minute, but it has a lot to do with energy and the human ROI, again, because there's going to be a point where if everything is fully autonomous and our lives are fully autonomous, we're going to shift our brains to be less competitive and more creative. And that is going to be revolutionary. I mean, we have never experienced like this culture. Nobody in the world in the last hundreds of years has ever experienced that. That's what's coming. And that's what's really fascinating. And again, this is what Grok is predicting. These are things that I've been thinking about, but it's cool to see that this thing is, it's kind of merged that way. All right. Human machine integration, brain computer interfaces, BCIs will enable direct cognitive enhancement, allowing humans to merge with AI for augmented intelligence, memory, or sensory capabilities. That's awesome. Super stoked about that. Synthetic creativity, AI will produce art, music, literature, and innovations indistinguishable from or superior to human output, potentially redefining cultural production. It's kind of freaky, but also kind of neat. Global coordination, AI could manage global resources, economies, and conflicts with unprecedented efficiency, assuming governance frameworks keep pace. Limitations, ethical dilemmas. Yeah, because robots they don't have ethics. They're programmed by us. Existential risks, misalignment of AI goals with human values. Now we're talking Terminator. And societal resistance may limit deployment. The unpredictability of superintelligence systems could pose control challenges. So here's the reason why I actually don't think that this is going to be a thing. Limited deployment, societal resistance with limited deployment. I don't think this is going to be a thing because, again, the United States is not going to want China to have super control over the world, and China is not going to want the United States to have super control over the world. So we're in a race that is unavoidable. We cannot avoid it. Okay? Can humans be replaced? Where am I at on time? Let's see here. 20 minutes in. Holy schmoly. All right, it's all good. We're going to keep going here for a few minutes because this is where it gets really interesting. Yes, humans can be replaced in most functional roles, but the extent depends on societal choices, economics, and technological adoption. 10 years, most routine, repetitive, and analytical jobs, manufacturing, accounting, logistics, basic healthcare will be automated. Creative and interpersonal roles, therapists, artists, policymakers will face competition, but remain human-centric due to cultural preferences and emotional nuances. My 16-year-old daughter talks to ChatGPT all the time, gets advice from ChatGPT all the time, and ChatGPT's advice is stellar for a teenager. And I used to worry about it, and I'm just like, everything that it's saying is stuff that I would be telling you anyway. We still talk about it. I'm not just like replacing my parenting with ChatGPT, but I love that she's using a tool that is helping her better herself and know how to communicate better with other people. It's absolutely fascinating. 25 years, 2050, virtually all jobs, including creative, strategic, and emotional labor, could be performed by AI or AI augmented systems. Humans may shift. Here it is. Humans may shift to roles emphasizing meaning, oversight, or leisure, or integrate with AI to remain competitive. This is where things get really interesting, because where our strategic, chess-minded brains won't matter as much anymore, because artificial intelligence, for all intents and purposes, is going to just be better than us at everything, because it will have studied everyone, not just any one individual, but it will have studied everyone. We're feeding it mountains of data every single day, gajillions of bits of data every single day. It's learning from us every single day. So where do we focus? Can artificial, and now listen, I've used ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, be creative, think out of the box, think of something crazy for a YouTube video, and it'll come up with some pretty cool ideas. But most of the ideas it's coming up with are drawing from something that has already been done and then merging things together. So we will be focusing our brains less on strategy, less on education, and more on meaning. That's fascinating. That's really, really fascinating. So does that mean we'll have a spiritual revolution that's coming? I mean, I think we're already feeling it. I think a lot of people are already converting to Christianity. We're seeing a lot of that. I think that we're already starting to feel that. Leisure, right? But what is leisure? If you can throw on a headset and be completely immersed, you can have a chip in your brain that says, that sawdust tastes like steak. Ugh. That's a little scary. That's a little weird. All right, barriers to full replacement, okay? So don't fret. Cultural resistance, humans value human interaction. I don't know, you guys. I've seen a lot of people have very human conversations with artificial intelligence. I don't know. I just don't know about that. Authenticity and agency, which may preserve roles like teaching, caregiving, or art. I don't know. I mean, we see like every day these like people are like attacking elderly people in old folks' homes. Robots won't do that. Maybe. I have no idea. Ethical constraints. Regulations may limit AI in sensitive areas, judicial systems, military. Maybe, until it doesn't. Again, like we're separate nations. We are separate nations in one world. And if there is one artificial intelligence that is ruling the world, it's going to understand that collaborative effort takes us further in advancement than competitive. And so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. Economic incentives. Replacing humans entirely may not be cost effective in all contexts, especially where human labor remains cheap or AI deployment is expensive. Okay, so here's where we get to ROI. Short-term ROI of replacing humans. High upfront investment in AI infrastructure, hardware, software, training data, and retraining displaced workers. For example, developing a single advanced AI model today costs tens of millions and scaling hundreds of billions. I don't know. I see what it's saying. Yeah, training an advanced AI model. Okay, so if you're like starting from scratch, but I'm not going to pretend to know what that means. Benefits. Automation reduces labor costs. E.g., $30 an hour for a human worker versus $5 an hour for equivalent of a robot, amortized over time. Productivity gains in manufacturing and services. Are we going to stop? My question is like, if we can throw on a headset and we can look down at our feet and see new Jays on our feet in our augmented reality, do we need new Jays in real life? That's my question. Are we actually going to end up spending money like we do now? Like, do I need to buy, all this equipment? Do I need glasses and contacts? Do I need a watch? Do I need anything that I'm wearing today? I don't know. I think that the reduction of, I think the current economic models is going to cease to exist. All right. Long-term ROI cost lower as AI becomes standardized and economies of scale reduce hardware software cost. Governance and security and ethical compliance would add ongoing expenses. Possibly near total automation could cut operational costs by 70 to 90% in industries like healthcare. Again, like some doctor commented on one of my posts maybe 2 months ago, and he was so funny. It was like such a snarky comment. He's like, yeah, AI is so dangerous. I use it every day to read my x-rays and analyze them. And I'm like, bro, you're just telling us that you're replaceable. Like, you're just telling us you're replaceable. And with a snarky doctor like you with that kind of bedside manner, I would hope you'd be replaced by AI. I would trust an AI over you and your weird emotional outburst. Anyway, I just think it's so funny. But yes, the education system, healthcare system, it's crazy. All right. AI could reduce global costs by $10 trillion annually by 2050 based on current $10 trillion market and projected efficiency gains with ROI 5 to 10x for governments and providers. Intangible benefits, I think it's just like pulling stuff out of the air at this point. I mean, but some of this, like, could be true. Reduce human error, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What will currency be when humans are obsolete? So this is actually really fascinating. I'm going to skip 10 years. I'm going to go straight to 25. Currency may become abstract, tied to access rights, AI services, energy, knowledge. This is where things get a little bit creepy. It gets into that, like, the social credit system, Ugh. Blockchain-like systems or AI-managed ledgers could ensure trust and scarcity, right? Since you don't want AI to just like pump a whole bunch of money into an economy. It's just meaningless. Value bases. With human labor obsolete, value may derive from energy to power AI systems and infrastructure. Yes, possibly, but if AI enhances technology, energy could become free, which would be interesting. Data. Another currency, unique data sets or real-time human experience as inputs for AI. So AI could just throw us into a simulation so that way it could continue learning. Simulation theory. It could just throw us in, to a simulation so that way we can just keep feeding it data by how we interact with the experiences that we're faced with on an ongoing basis. That's a little sketch. Attention, human attention or creativity as a scarce resource in post-labor economy. Creativity, yeah. I mean, creativity could be something that's interesting. Resource, like, are you good at, for example, are you highly desirable as an influencer for people to watch? If you're highly desirable as an influencer for people to watch, then you're going to, you're providing value. Resources, rare materials, or computational capacity for advanced AI. Yeah, I don't know if that one's going to be something. All right, and then I add. Okay, so let's just read the conclusion here. I'm going to. I asked it after the conclusion. I'm going to show you this piece of tech too. But after the conclusion, let's see here. What did I say? I said I'm wanting to understand what value-oriented roles humans will play in 25 to 50 years when AI runs literally everything. What's it? Oh, yeah. Okay. I got to get into that a little bit. Let's skip the conclusion and then jump into this. Okay. What sectors will humans still be needed for? This is where things get really interesting. Okay. Let's go to value-oriented roles humans will play. This is what was really interesting. Okay. Meaning and purpose, activities that give individuals a sense of fulfillment, identity, or connection, even if not strictly necessary. That's fascinating. So basically, we'll just exist in this joy-like world where we just do things for fun because the robots just give us money and we just exist because the robot, I don't know. It's so weird to think that way. Creativity and authenticity, contributions valued for their human origin, emotional resonance, or cultural significance. Those are things that will be needed for. But for who? Just for us? Just to entertain each other? Or for the robots? I don't know. Ethical oversight, ensuring all AI aligns with human values and navigating moral complexities AI might not fully grasp. Possibly. I mean, we could have, you guys, just simply because we have the technological revolution, we've kind of been stunted in spirituality and meaning. And it's because the powers that be, John D. Rockefeller, when he invented the modern education system, didn't want, and if you think about it, like, it makes sense. He didn't want people to think that they were capable of amazing things because he doesn't want people thinking outside of, he didn't want people thinking outside of the box. He wanted to become cogs in the machine because humans are energy. Humans power industry. And if you remove humans powering industry, you take that out of the equation, and now we're looking at advancements in spirituality and meaning. And so all these people in 2025 think that we're so spiritually enlightened. They think that we're so intelligent. We have not even scratched the surface in spirituality. And it is not something that's studied because it's so nuanced and personal. And I think that if it is studied and there is this component that can be researched and we can come to some conclusions on spirituality and meaning, the meaning of life, we're going to have a meaning revolution that is going to be absolutely fascinating. All right. Ethical oversight, ensuring AI aligns with human values and navigating moral complexities AI might not fully grasp. Oh, I already talked about that. Social and emotional connection, providing empathy, community, and human-to-human interaction that AI cannot authentically replicate. I don't know. I think that AI is going to be able to replicate that at some point. Exploration and innovation, pushing boundaries in areas like philosophy, art, or spirituality where human perspective remains unique. Yep, there you go. Okay. So that philosophy degree, my friend, that you got, that you were convinced was going to get you into a job that was going to make $200K a year, but you're sitting working at Walmart because philosophy degree in 2025 doesn't mean squat. That actually could mean something moving forward. That art degree could mean something moving forward. Going to a Bible college or seminary could mean something moving forward. These things could be in demand. Whew, that's interesting. Makes me want to study more. So there you have it, folks. I'm not going to go super deep on any of this other stuff. I think that it's, sectors. Oh no, the value or roles. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Creative arts and culture. These are sectors. Yeah. Education and mentorship. Don't think so. Healthcare and caregiving, possibly. Ethics, philosophy, and governance. I think definitely. Religion, spirituality, community building, 100%. Leisure, entertainment, social influence. Yes, I think so. Get really good at your leisure. Becoming a professional leisure artist. Entertainment, be an entertainer, learn that stuff. Social influence, maybe. I think that artificial intelligence will cap people who are, I don't know. I could see things being suppressed. Oversight and auditing of AI systems, no, I don't think that'll be in reality, things I think that people should be focusing on: this stuff, and this stuff. Ethics, philosophy, and governance, religion, spirituality, community building, leisure, entertainment, social influence. I think those are big sectors that people should be focusing on over the next 25 years. That's my prediction. All right, now real quick, I just want to show you this. I know we're freaking way long, 34 minutes. This is my longest video ever, and I love it. This is the fascinating stuff. Okay, so I invested in this thing. This is a Rabbit R1. It is a piece of crap. Don't buy one. I spent, it's like $200, and they said that he said it's not a large language model. It's I don't remember, large action model. He's like, we're going to take the large language models and turn them into a large action model. So basically what you're supposed to be able to do with this was say, hey, Rabbit, send an email to so-and-so. I need X, tell them XYZ and blah, blah, blah. And then it was supposed to do that. Hey, Rabbit, order me Chipotle, my last order. Let's do it. Hey, Rabbit, book me a hotel in San Francisco, cheapest cost. And it's supposed to be able to do all that for you. Well, they rolled it out with like none of that stuff working. And then by the time they got one or two things working, everybody had just basically thrown it in the trash. The reason that I like it, it's such a good example of, interesting stuff, is that it's thinking outside of the box. Now, do I believe that the guy who created it is a scam artist? I don't know. That's for other people to decide. I know they raised like tens of millions, if not like $100 million to build this thing. And it was just a complete flop, like out of the gate, complete flop. But I love that people are thinking outside of the box. They're like, what is the next piece of technology that we're going to need to focus on? And then somebody creates something like this. Or the glasses. My prediction is that wearables are going to be way, way, way more desirable and used as we're moving forward into as we get closer to 2030. All right, you guys, this was a beast. Hopefully it gives you some insight. I know this is kind of a different video from my typical business advice stuff, but hopefully you liked it because artificial intelligence is taking over the world, whether we like it or not. So buckle up. Buckle up, my friends. Later.